My name is Michael Stratton. I live here at 451 Fairview Road, although this is technically 461 Fairview Road. Back in October 2019, my wife and I, Amanda, were fortunate enough to be able to purchase this piece of property, and rather than sell off the back half of the lot, we decided let's try to put a community garden in. But by the time we were ready to break ground, COVID-19 had hit us, and the strategy had shifted a little bit. So we had originally envisioned of lots of people all having little plots back here, but with distancing we had to shift a little bit. We became a resilience garden. And rather than be community focused, we became resilience focused for our community, which meant that we had the strategic goal to try to produce as much food as possible, to donate as much as possible for the hungry people that would be manifested as a result of COVID-19.
My name is Allison Keel, and I'm a steering committee member with the Fairview Road Resilience Garden. I'm a neighbor that lives down the street from Michael, but I'd never met him before, and I was just out walking my dog and saw that he had a sign out that he wanted to start a community garden at this site. I have a background in running a community farm, and I've been gardening for a long time, and I've been living in Oakley for a while, and sort of separately had the idea that I wanted to try to start a community garden, and just happened to walk by Michael's place and find out that he had the same idea.
We put a call to action out in the neighborhood and see who wanted to get involved, and we had a lot of takers.
In late March, I think that we had our first steering committee meeting. There was 2 other members as well that started with us, and we were really able to organize a lot of procuring resources like mulch and compost very quickly without ever knowing or meeting each other before. And then we had a lot of support from the greater community as well.
You know, our mission here with this garden has not been single-tracked. Obviously, our biggest goal was to produce and donate as much food as possible, but we also have a wider goal, which is creating a space for civic activity.
I kind of didn't know how to feel like I was making some sort of difference. I also felt like I didn't know any of my neighbors very well. I just thought that maybe if I could focus on my own neighborhood and try to make a change there, that would be a good way to feel like I was working towards like a higher purpose or a greater good.
One of the reasons that we wanted to engage with Bounty and Soul as opposed to any of the other organizations around town is we knew that they had also a mission to organize themselves outside of just feeding people. One of the things that we really brought us to them was they wanted to teach people how to cook, do cooking classes. They wanted to be really engaged with the gardens that are producing food and help them get off the ground. So this sense of civic engagement that was provided by Bounty and Soul seemed very much in line with what we were trying to do. That was not just growing food, but try to incorporate the community side of things. So I think Bounty and Soul was a great partner.
To me, like a resilient food system has got to include little food plots all over our city. And what's been happening in Asheville over the last several years, we're losing a lot of our green spaces. A lot of our tree cover, we have to find a way to preserve those green spaces within our city, and I think community gardening is a really good way to do that, as well as produce food for people that need it. And the whole point is to bring others from the neighborhood together. To me, it just encompasses a lot of different aspects that are important.
And so far this year, I think we've had a very successful run and very successful go of it, and that we've been able to provide food for our community. As I'd mentioned, when we started this garden, or at least the idea of this garden, the goal was really just to create some green space in our community as opposed to having 3 or 4 houses built next door. We thought, let's build a space that we can meet our neighbors in and provide some greenery for folks. But when COVID hit, and we actually got the people in the garden and we started producing, what we realized is we were producing a lot more than just food. We were producing solace and peace for this neighborhood and the people that were involved. And that was something that was not apparent to us as being a byproduct when we started, but to me at this point it's one of the best things that's come out of this garden. We're really looking forward to producing more of that in the years to come.